He's got a lot to answer for. The truth is that last year he shook hands with the infected Adam Marshall here in the Parliament House on Budget night at the National Party dinner. And instead of isolating for 14 days like the rules said, the rules that Hazard set, he got off after 24 hours. So he didn't follow the rules that he's imposed upon millions of people, these draconian COVID rules.
But that's beside the point. The language towards you when they're going on about bullying.
But he knows that he's as guilty as sin. It was questioning at budget estimates. So to try and distract me, he threw the switch to abuse, to try and get me to blow up. I didn't fall for that old trick. And in terms of his abuse, Alan, I've been insulted by professionals over the years, and Hazard is not in their league. And I'm afraid it was a case of a health minister who hadn't taken his pills. Yeah. He was off his rocker.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Look, we can't not afford not to talk about this, but when are we going to stop talking about money in education and instead talk about what is taught or not taught in the classroom?
Absolutely. Anyone who visits a disadvantaged school will know the Gonski rivers of gold mean that some of these schools have got more money than they know how to spend. I visited a lot of these schools. Jason Clare, the federal minister, obviously hasn't visited any, because the school leaders will say this Gonski money, we've got money for this, that and the other thing. I visited a disadvantaged school in the Liverpool district where they had so much money. They were providing a service for the parents to go to distant Ingleburn to be part of a university experiment, to sit on the floor with their kids, a two-way mirror, sound in their ear, to show them how to be parents playing with their kids on the floor. So, when you've got that level of funding, the issues on these failing disadvantaged schools are not about resourcing. They are about the focus on academic instead of falling for well-being and pastoral care programs. A lot of these schools will say, as long as the kids are happy. Well, Alan, it's good to be happy, but happiness doesn't get you a good job and a good working career.
Absolutely.
They need academic results to lift them out of public housing estates, Indigenous areas, disadvantaged suburbs. So that's one big thing, focus on academic results and have teachers teaching, direct instruction from the front of the classroom instead of this new fad of teachers as facilitators, where they walk around the classroom with a cup of coffee telling the kids working in groups they need to be self-starting learners.
This is so true.
This is just nonsense.
What Mark is saying, and you've only got to talk to kids, they'll tell you what Mark Latham is saying is correct. I mean, every 3 years, the OECD assesses and compares how 15-year-olds from 79 countries are going at applying what they have learnt at school through a test called PISA, the Program for International Student Assessment. It's sort of a health check on the performance of our education system, and things are crook, C-R-O-O-K in Australia. Since the first test in 2000, relative to kids around the world, it's been all downhill for our kids. And the last test in 2018, the last PISA, Program for International Student Assessment, tested 14,000 Australian students and found the percentage of illiterate 15-year-olds had grown to almost 20%. Mark, you're the only politician in the country talking about this. When are we going to stop betraying our kids and indeed our parents? But when are the parents going to start protesting?
Well, some parents, the first challenge is to get their kids to school. I was at Walgett High School in Western New South Wales not long ago. It's got the worst reputation in New South Wales, unfortunately. Only 3% of the students there attend the school 90% of the time. On some days, they've got over 50% of the students on truancy, just not at the school. So that makes the point. You can throw funding at a school like that, but if the kids aren't in the classroom and the parents don't care, well, you might as well wash the money down the drain in places like Walgett. Now, this is a predominantly Indigenous school. Parental attitudes are a big part of the component. If you don't want to send your kids to school, you shouldn't be on welfare. I mean, your primary responsibility as a parent is to pass on a decent education and career prospects to the next generation. And if you're not willing to do that as a parent, you have failed hopelessly. You don't deserve to be a parent. You don't deserve to be on income support. You've got to take responsibility for the next generation. A point that Tony Abbott and Noel Pearson have made over the years, and we need to enforce it.